Morning everyone, how you going? So yeah, busy day today. So what we're doing, give you a bit of background. Hopefully it's not zoomed in too much, but so I've got this car for some reason. I think the next year after this had Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. This doesn't. The most it had was Pandora and stuff like that. It's a 2016 car, but the system that it runs is quite old. So they never had Android Auto or any of that fancy stuff. So anyway, I got this screen, got it from AliExpress. It was about $100, something like that, just a cheapie. You can buy them from Super Cheap Auto. They cost a bit more. Don't know if they work any better. I'm not sure. This works absolutely fine. I had one in this car. Had one in my Tirana before I sold it. Really good. Jump in the car. You got. I don't use it for music. That's one thing I don't use it for. The quality's not the best for music. It's got a radio FM transmitter built into it. I can't get it to work. And then it also has through an aux cable to plug in. I've got nowhere to plug an aux cable into this car. You can't do it. All it has is, let me just get a torch. So all it has is down there, USB and cigarette lighter power there, 12 volt and USB, and that's all she's got there. And then all it's got just there is cigarette lighter as well. So what I'm doing currently is using cigarette lighter adapter to go into here to run an extension cable that runs underneath here. I've just pulled everything out. Goes to the back to another cigarette lighter adapter that that one there is for the camera, for the dash cam. So I've got two things I'm trying to run here. So the dash cam, which is 12 volt in, 5 volt, it converts 5 volts in that plug pack there, and then outputs 5 volts to the camera. That's all that needs. This thing takes the same, it's just USB power to run the screen. And I had that plugged into this cigarette lighter with the cable going over here with one of these things. With one of these, I had a couple of them in the car. So cigarette lighter and then outputs to USB. So what happened was it stopped working over the weekend. Found out that this thing has split. You can see the split in it. So the camera stopped working, and I don't know how long it's not been working for, but that's the extension cable I made up for it to run the camera. And then I was using this, but then stopped using it because this is really dodgy as well. They pop out all the time, and then you got to open up. This was in the console, so this takes up a lot of room inside that inside here, that little thing there. So you had this plus all the connectors plugged into it, and it was just it just didn't work. So I was having to think about it yesterday, and I think what I'm going to do, I came up with an idea of stealing power from this light. The only thing is that's constant power up to this light, because then I could just get make up a little cable that you still keep the you still have to keep that, because you got 12 volt in, 5 volt out. What's up, mate? What aren't you happy about? Hey, I know, it's just wiring, mate. It's all we can do. Yeah, so could just make a solder some wires directly to that thing, so it's still 12 volt in, 5 volts out, and it just there's plenty of room behind here. It heaps room. I've already had this light out to change this bulb. So and you'd literally have a cable that goes from there to there, really easy. You could cut it, whatever, join it. You want to help? Hey? I don't think you know what to do, mate. So yeah, all good. So there's that. Well, that's not an option, because yeah, it's constant power to this, because the car's off right now, and I can turn the light on. So that's not what we want. So the next option is to reuse one of these cigarette lighters with splitter cables and all that. So that is an option. And what I could do is go back to using this setup. So use that, cut that off. So use this into the center console where you won't see it. Cut that off, cut this off, and so that's in the little thing, armrest, underneath the armrest. Cut that end off, cut these off, connect them to there, if you know what I mean, so you don't have those two connectors and you end up with that situation. Then you put dash cam in one, put one of these in the other and connect USB. That's another option. I want to try and steer away from this kind of stuff though, that's the only thing. I want to make it all direct connect without fail points that can snap, break, that kind of stuff, like what's happened here. So my next option is to find out where some fuse boxes are. The only one I know of is in the engine bay, and I don't want to start doing sneaky stuff like that through the firewall. The other one is right down in the boot where the battery is, and I don't want to run a cable all the way through. I'm pretty sure there's another one under here somewhere, so I'm going to go and look up on the internet and have a look. I'm pretty sure it's under here somewhere, so I've got to figure out how to get this, or figure out if there is one here first, and then figure out how to get it off. So I'll go and do a bit of research, and then that might require a fuse tap, which means I've got to go to the shop and get one because I don't have one. But yeah, anyway, even if we have to keep this situation here, what I might do is directly, rather than put a plug here, I'm going to just directly solder some wires, so positive to that, negative to that, and that way it can't ever come up unplugged like it has done. And I don't know how long I've been running around without a dash cam. Not a big deal, but I just didn't know it was working. Yeah, it wasn't working, so that'll fix that problem. And then figure out a way to hide, because there's plenty of room up under here, and then that can hide under there, and then another cigarette lighter can hide under there. But what I'll do is just dedicate, probably not this one, because this is a QC3 quick charging, and I think that is as well. Yep, I think this is just a normal one. So what I'll do then is same thing, solder positive to negative, and then that'll have the camera connected to, the screen, Android Auto connected to that. Direct connect, can't come undone. Put a heap of wire around it. I've actually got some big heat shrink that'll fit over that, and then heat shrink it all together to that. It's, you know, heat shrink like that, but much bigger, like a piece of sticky tape. So that's the easiest solution for me, rather than pulling apart stuff here. But I don't know how hard that is, or even if there is a fuse box here. So if there is a fuse box, then we can pull power from the fuse, and I don't have to have a hidden wire under here and then popping into here and taking up room in there. I don't mind having one cigarette lighter plug in there and then all the connections down there, that's fine. It's the double cigarette lighter plug plus the plugs that plug into it and constantly coming apart. That's what I don't want to have. So yeah, anyway, I'll jump on the computer and see what's under this piece of plastic here. Okay, 2 seconds later, that was easy. So this panel sits in there, that is behind the rubber here. I just used one of these, about up here somewhere, and off she came, no screws, nothing. So, let's see if I can get you a bit higher. So now we've got to start looking at fuses. Not my strong point, but I know what they do, and I know. So these are the real small ones, I think, yeah. So we've got, on the back of here, it actually gives you a rundown of what's what. So it kind of sits, I think that, like that. Because you've got this big one, 7156. Oh, it just says logistics, okay. But yeah, I'm pretty sure, because you got empty, and you got two empty ones there. LPG shut off, empty. This not LPG. LPG shut off, another one there, empty. Run there, big one, yeah, and it says empty as well. So what we can do is go, we can just steal one of these fuses really, and the only thing is that for BCM means body control module, airbag, you definitely don't want to go be playing with body control modules, airbags, because you're putting extra load on a system that it knows exactly how much load it should have. So if you go and pull out the airbags, and it knows that at static it should have 0.00256 amps of draw. You go and chuck some dash cams and stuff hanging off that, and now all of a sudden it's got 2 amp draw on it. It's going to throw a light. I don't know if it'll pop an airbag, but it'll definitely throw a light because there's more than what it's expecting. Same with body control modules. I wouldn't go mucking around with that. See, we do have an LPG shut-off 30 amp fuse in here, and there are a lot of empty ones. So I'd say the empty ones are still going to work. You just got to put a fuse in them. So if we get a test light, and this is just a really basic test light. I did have a fancy one that showed you voltage and stuff, but it lasted all of 5 minutes and took it back and got my money back. So yeah, sometimes it's not worth. So we'll earth that out and then touch some things, and you can see there red light. So that's got power right now, and the key's not in the car. Let me go and get the car keys. So don't want to put the keys in the car just yet. So I want to go to one of these empty ones. So that 30 amp empty one, F3, so it's the third one. You got logistics, big green one. You got body control module, DLC, don't know what that is, and then LPG. Yeah, F8 empty. F8 empty is, it's hard to get to. Okay, we got 2 empty rows up here. I don't know if you can see them. Got 2 empty rows in here. So if we just put, so no light, not that I can see either. Maybe if we just hang, that might work. Hang on, bear with me. Let's sort this out. Okay, so just to make sure your earth is working, so you can see in the test light there, red light. You got red light, so most of these are powered, even when the car's off, there's power there. So we want to, I can't even see, I don't think there's actually, it says empty and there is no fuse there, I don't think. Let me just move this camera so I can get my head there. Okay, so we're out of luck there, unfortunately. So pretty much, there's a lot of them that are empty, that they say empty. So the ones that do say that they're empty, or even the other ones actually, you can see some of them have a little gold tab. Obviously that's the connector for the fuse. There is power there, but there's no fuse there, which means, but I've probed them all, and with the key off, everything in here that has a terminal has got power with the key off. So none of this is good to us. As far as an empty hole goes. So the only thing I can do now is probe around. So that's got keys off at the moment. That's got power. That's got power. That's got power. That's got power. 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 That doesn't have power, but it's only a 2 amp fuse. So if we go to see what that is, it is SWC backlight. It's only a 2 amp, which means it's not a problem. So hang on. So now if we put, it's going to get a bit loud at the moment. So now turn the key on, and now we've got power. So that could be a goer. We might be able to use that because it's only a backlight. SWC backlight. So I'll do a bit of research and see how important that is. That's a 30 amp shunt. So that's probably going to have power all the time. Yep, power. Keys off at the moment, and I don't want to go playing with any of them just because I can't see them. So this 2 amp one is probably the best option at the moment, or our only option. So if we pull that out, we have to get a wiretap. The only thing is, I'm not too happy about using that actually, because the circuitry for that is only 2 amps for the power supply, so it's probably not massive. So you don't want to go then hanging a dash cam and a screen, probably drawing another 2-3 amps. So you're doubling its power draw, and then you cause problems. So I think we're going to close this up and stay away from here. That's a bit of a shame, but anyway. So you have to give me 5, and we will come up. I might actually go jump on the computer and go and have a Google and say see what fuses people are using to run dash cams. Maybe they say that is okay. So yeah, give me 5 and we'll come back and we'll reassess. Okay, I'm on this side now. I just had a quick look online, and there seems to be a guy on there said take off a little kick plate underneath the glove box and a plug will pop down, and it's an empty plug, and apparently that's all the accessories. You can plug in a dash cam or whatever. He's using it for a stereo remote turn on or something like that, but he said you can use them. They use it for dash cams and all that kind of stuff. So and radar detectors and things back when they weren't illegal. So that's what I'll do. So yeah, we'll just chuck the light in and see what tools we need to pull out the little kick plate under there. Okay, yeah, not too difficult. So 3 of these clips, you just need one of those tools there to pop them out, one on either end, one in the middle. And then you can kind of feel, you can't see it, it's just about here though. It's got its own little clip, just pull it. I just ripped it. And then it's got some terminals in there, as you can see. I think it's the bottom left, but they may all be switched power. So if they are, I'll get the test light. If they are, because apparently that's all it is for extra accessories, then what am I going to say? We can put the dash cam on one and then put the screen on another. But if there is only one, then we're going to have to run both of them off one. In that case, I'll put a 5 amp fuse in line. So I'll just get the test light. And also going to have to find a earth as well. So I'm just putting that there. Hopefully that should be okay. So you've got, so the key's off at the moment. So I've got no power there. I've got power there. No power there, and no power there. So only that middle one right now has power with the key off. So now I'll turn the key on. So that's ignition on, which is what we want. And now the bottom left has power, middle has power, power there. It looks a bit, so the top right has no power. That one there is very dull compared to that one, so that might only have 5 volt power, I'm not sure. I'll get my multimeter to check now. Multimeter set to DC. I'll try and clamp that to that. You won't be able to see it, and I've only got 2 hands, so yeah, you have to take my word. So you got 12.23 volts on the bottom left, same in the middle, and we've got, slipped, 11 volts. Okay, so don't know what the go is there. And then top right, bugger all, so nothing in the top right. So we can use, let me just put, well, it doesn't matter with accessories because you only really want it on when you're driving. But so we're just on accessory power now. Still got 12 volts there, 12 volts in the middle, and 11.4 on the bottom right. So now, sanity check. That's probably going to have power. Yes, because I haven't taken the key out. So key out. Key out, car shuts off. And now we should have 0 volts, yep. 12 volts in the middle.
Right, okay, so that still has, the bottom right still has voltage. No, it doesn't. Yeah, it does. It's slowly dissipating though. 5 volts, yeah. Okay, so that's what we can do. So we can't use the middle one. We can't use the top right because it has nothing. You know what? That is an earth. That top right one is an earth. So if I put this to this thing and then go, hear that beep there? That's a continuity check, so I've just done the earth. Yeah, so top right is an earth. So that's awesome. That's really good news. We don't have to go looking for an earth point now. That's really good. Yep. Okay. Very good. Okay, let me think about it and I'll come back to you. Righto, so here we are. I've just put a bit of, so what I've done, so this cable here is what runs the camera, and then the cable that runs the screen is still in the car because it just terminates to a USB. So that will plug into this one, that will plug into the USB, and I've got a spare one if I ever need it, if I want to connect something else to it. Then we've got 12 volt in, 5 volt out to the USB. Same story here, so 12 volt in the yellow, 5 volt out to the camera. I know there's better ways of doing this. You can actually buy like a little box that 12 volt in, 5 volt out. You can do all that kind of stuff, but I don't have one here. This is all I've got, so I'm working with this. I've soldered, so that's going to go to the top right hand terminal, so that's crimped and soldered, and I'm going to put some heat shrink on it in a minute. Just wait for this hot glue to dry. So that goes to negative on the cigarette lighter, loops over negative to the cigarette lighter, then that goes to the other one. This is quite chunky wire, but again, that's all I have with a fuse in it, so it's got a 7.5 amp fuse. That'll go to there, to the bottom left, in to the positive, loops back around positive, and that's it. So I've got some heat shrink for the terminals and some big thick heat shrink for this. So I'll just whack up my heat gun and we'll do that now. Okay, here we are. So got the heat shrink on. I've left a fair bit extra at the top, so there's no way that positive little bump there is going to touch anything, so we're all good there. And we're just going to make these 2 connections now, and then we can try everything, and then I'll probably disconnect it and run the wires properly. But yeah, let's have a look and see if we get any fire. So bottom left is power, boom, and top right is earth. Nice. Okay. Right. So keys. We'll go around the other side. So I'll need to chuck that in there. Plug that up to the camera. And I can't remember what I've done. Oh, here it is. You guys stay like that. Hopefully that'll work. So, so where is it? Oh, I've got to go back down there now. Yeah. So I can reach the camera. So that's for the camera. Nothing special, just a normal run-of-the-mill dash cam. So camera's on. 2 seconds, I'll see if I can reach over and get this other one. Okay, so accessories is on. Not the ignition. Oh no, ignition is on. So screen's on. And camera is on. Pretty sure. Yep, there we go. So now we'll just make sure we'll start him up. So everything turned off. And pretty happy with that. There we go. Working. Car's still working. And no smoke. That's the main thing. So that's pretty cool. I'm just wondering. Yeah, no, that's all. That's all we can do now. So now I've just got to tidy up before I gas myself out. So yeah, key out, screen off, and that's off. Perfect. Very good. Okay, so now all I got to do, this is probably the hardest. It's probably the hardest bit now, is running all these wires. They used to run this way, under and down. Now they're going to run that way. That one there will probably just run under the dash mat and then down. And this one will just run exactly the same how it ran here. It's going to run down there. So yeah, I'll tidy up and we'll finish off the video. And all done. Quite simple actually. Wiring's not my favourite thing to do in the world. But you can see just where the light grey hits the dash mat, just under that, you can see a couple little wires. So you've got the dash cam, which is not adjusted at the moment. That's okay. So you can see the dash cam just there. Wire runs straight up into the hood lining, across, down, right to the corner, tucked in, right under, and then pops out around and down. So you can see 2 wires there and then 2 wires there just as it comes out of the rubber, but being black on black you can barely notice it. Goes to all the things. This one goes under the dash mat, nice and simple, to the same point and then down and around. So everything's off at the moment. Let's just move that out of the way. Everything's off. We'll give it one last shot and then I think we'll call it. So that's ignition on, screen, and dash cam. So yeah, awesome. 7.5 amp fuse. I reckon I could get away with a 5 amp fuse. These two things aren't going to draw 5 amps. So yeah, but anyway, if something does blow a fuse, then you go down there and change your 7.5 amp fuse. But otherwise we'll call that a success. I've had this car probably 5 years and I've been trying to come up with a way. I know that's not the prettiest solution, but it's going to work, and being that it's soldered, will never disconnect like this system did. And I kind of remembered what happened now. So the USB thing in here, I've got a little tiny USB thing that's actually got I've got a few songs on there, a bit of music. That's the only way you can play your own music. I'm pretty sure you can't do it. No, you can't do it wirelessly because it doesn't have Apple or Android Auto, whatever the thing's called. So that's the only way you're playing music on here, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, that's what I wanted to do. So then that lost power to that. I think that was plugged in, or that was plugged in. Can't remember. One of them was plugged in, and then it had, you know, the double 12-volt connectors here and all that. So now we're back to really nothing in there. So that's not being used now, that 12-volt connector, and neither is that one. Whereas yesterday I had both of them going. So yeah, worked out really well. So yeah, happy with that. Check out these screens anyway. I think you can get one smaller than that one. Then there's a 9-inch, a 10-inch, 11-inch. You can get all different size ones. That's only just a little one because I kind of didn't want it too big. Unless you got like a really good big space to put it, you can put a big 12-inch one. But I think that's a 7, and that works quite well. Good enough for so the one I had in my Tirana, I put in my missus's car in the i20, and she loves it as well. So as soon as you get in the car, Waze comes up, which is your navigation. You still want to help, mate? We're finished now. Go and have a sleep. Hey? They've been good boys today. Had their walk. Good boy, mate. His brother's probably asleep. But anyway, let's pack up and call that one another successful project done. Have a good one, and we'll see you next time.